Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to be talking about portable air conditioners, and we want to thank ElvinDoc for a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. And we appreciate all the downloads we've been getting lately for our ebooks on Amazon. Book 13 is coming soon. And you can check out our other books. They're called Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 12. In ancient Egypt, wet reeds were hung in windows to help cool the air and add moisture to the dry air in the desert. In the 1800s, John Gorey, a physician and scientist, would hang containers filled with ice over his patients' beds to help cool them off. And he was so into ice, in 1851, he patented a machine to make ice. The term air conditioner was first used in a patent by William Carrier in 1902, and the Carrier Company was founded in 1915. One of the first portable window air conditioners was developed in 1945.
Cool. Get it?
Portable room air conditioners generally look like a large dehumidifier or a giant paper shredder, 2 to 3 feet high, about 1.5 feet wide, and they'll have a flexible duct or 2 ducts that vent out a window. I spoke to a salesperson at one of the home centers about portable air conditioners, and he said one of the things many people don't realize when they're looking at the box is you have to vent this out a window. So he said he gets a lot of returns because of that. So
what do they think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just think it just sits in a room.
What?
Magical. Well, kind of like a dehumidifier, where you just set it into a room and it's just going to cool it. But you've got to vent that hot air that's produced out a window. So you're going to have a window kit that's going to work with sash windows or sliding windows.
Uh-huh.
They're designed to cool one room or an area of your home. All the units I looked at had wheels or casters, so the unit could be moved around, or you can use it in one room and then move it to another room, and it's going to be a lot easier than trying to move a window unit from one room to another room. A portable air conditioner is good for an apartment or a condo where you aren't allowed to have a window unit. And if you have a large home and just want to cool an area where you're watching TV, or if you're working in an office, or you want to cool off your bedroom, rather than cooling down the whole house with central air, it's going to save you a lot of money just to cool an area.
Right.
There's a town by us, Addison, Illinois. They don't allow window air conditioners in any windows in the front of any home or the side windows within 12 feet of the front of a home.
How'd you figure this out?
I was just looking if there were restrictions in communities with window air conditioners, and there's quite a few condos, apartments, and some villages where they don't want window air conditioners. So this is one way around it. And in fact, if you're thinking about buying a window air conditioner, it probably makes sense to check with your village to see if there's any restrictions. If you're in a cold climate, all you have to do is remove the window kit, and you're just going to roll your portable unit into an area where you're going to store it, rather than having to try to remove a window unit, which can be heavy and awkward, or a lot of people try to cover it to make it more energy efficient. This is also going to be easier to maintain than a window unit.
Mm-hmm.
With a portable air conditioner, you're going to need floor space next to a window and a convenient outlet. Manufacturers want the power cord directly plugged into an outlet, so check the power cord length when you're comparing models and the exhaust hose length. I spoke to Tosot, it's T-O-S-O-T. They make window and portable air conditioners. They recommend checking the area and the window before you purchase. You should measure the window size. Window kits are this panel that the exhaust hose or hoses are attached to. Most of your sash windows are easy to close down on the panel, but if you have sliding windows, that panel needs to be installed vertically. So you should check the length. You may need an expansion panel for many windows. So does the kit come with it? What is the length of your panel? And does that company have expansion panels? So you don't have to create your own.
How could you do that?
Piece of wood, piece of plastic.
Then why would you buy it?
Well, I would get something that fits into it perfectly.
Right.
Right. Match the BTUs to the area you're going to be cooling.
What are BTUs?
BTUs are British thermal units. And
Do you
it's
just wait for me to ask questions?
Yes, sometimes. So this is a unit of measure you're using to compare how powerful an air conditioner is so you can pick the right size for your room. If you get a portable unit that's too powerful for a small area, it's going to cool off the room too fast and it'll turn off before it has a chance to reduce the humidity levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to end up feeling cold and damp rather than cool and comfortable. So you end up feeling clammy if your BTUs are too high. You want to have your humidity levels 30 to 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Another problem, if the BTUs are too high, an air conditioner is drawing more energy when it starts up. So if it's cycling on and off too quickly, it's going to cost more to run it, and it'll actually shorten its life over time. If the BTUs are too low, though, the unit can run non-stop, and that's going to cost more to use.
Tricky.
An interesting thing about portable air conditioners is the Department of Energy created new guidelines on how they're tested.
Why?
The condenser coils are inside the unit, which is in your house, and you have this exhaust fan in your house that's venting out hot air. So they're not going to be as efficient as a window unit. 2017, the Federal Trade Commission requires new labels on portable air conditioners that show this new DOE BTU rating.
That's a lot of letters.
On the models I looked at, they show 2 BTU ratings. So some will just have a BTU number and then a DOE BTU number. Or it'll say, for example, 14,000 BTU ASHRAE and 9,200 BTU DOE. So DOE is the Department of Energy, and this is the new rating. And they base this on this adjusted cooling capacity. They do a variety of different test conditions, and it may be more accurate depending on your climate or your home.
Okay.
The ASHRAE is the standard BTUs if the unit is in perfect test conditions.
Okay.
And ASHRAE is the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers. And this new testing is generally a better guide if you're in a hot climate.
Okay.
TOSOT recommended 5,000 BTUs with the new DOE rating up to 300 square feet, 6,000 BTUs with the new DOE rating up to 400 square feet. The company Sylvane, it's Sylvane, they recommend for portable air conditioners 8,000 BTUs for 200 square feet or 1,600 cubic feet, 10,000 BTUs for 300 square feet or 2,400 cubic feet, 12,000 BTUs for 400 square feet or 3,200 cubic feet, 13,000 BTUs for 450 square feet or 3,600 cubic feet, 14,000 BTUs for 500 square feet or 4,000 cubic feet. The square foot recommendations are based on 8-foot ceilings, and square feet is length times width. If you have taller ceilings, you're going to use the cubic foot recommendations, which is length times width times height. And many labels and many manufacturers on their boxes will just have the suggested room size, which is a lot easier, less math. TOSOT recommended if the room that you're going to be cooling gets a lot of direct sunlight, you should be adding 10% to the suggested BTUs for the area. If you have an older home and the insulation isn't really good, you should be adding 15% to the BTUs. If there's more than 2 people in that area or the room frequently, add 600 BTUs for each additional person. And for rooms with other heat sources, like a kitchen where you're going to be using the stove or the oven frequently, you should add 4,000 BTUs. If the area has an open floor plan and it's extending into another area, you should add the BTUs for the entire area.
Okay.
There are 2 types of portable air conditioners, single hose or dual hose. With a single hose unit, the air conditioner is drawing in air from the room and it's blowing it over the coils to remove heat and to cool the air, but part of the room air is exhausted out of the hose to remove heat from the condenser coils. With a single hose unit, you're slightly depressurizing your house and you're pulling in air from the outside through cracks and other openings. which is actually good for the indoor air quality in most homes.
Okay.
The problem with a single hose unit, if you're in an apartment or a condo, is you could be pulling air into your living space from a hallway or an adjoining unit. So you could be drawing in smoke or other odors. With a dual hose unit, the air to remove heat from the coils comes in one hose and it's venting out the other hose. So you're not using the air in your living space to exhaust the heat. So you're not depressurizing your house. You have another fan that's moving air over the coils to cool off the living space.
Okay.
One of the manuals I read said if you're in a climate with temperatures regularly above 95 degrees Fahrenheit,
You should move.
a single hose unit is going to be better. A dual hose doesn't cool the coils as effectively in extreme conditions. And in hot weather, a single hose is going to be drawing in hot air from the outside when it's depressurizing your home. And this is where that DOE BTU rating is going to be more accurate. If you're in a moderate climate, many companies say a dual hose will cool off a room faster than a single hose, and it's going to vent out more moisture than a single hose.
Okay.
But a single hose is generally going to use less energy and cost less to purchase than dual hose. You should compare how the air conditioner collects and removes humidity from the air. Many will have the option of manually draining the buildup of moisture, or you can have a hose that continually drains. Some will have a pump, so you can move the water that's collected out a window through a drain hose, which is pretty cool. There are partially self-evaporating units and fully self-evaporating units. These will have an extra fan to help evaporate the moisture collected, and it'll exhaust it out the vent hose. One manual that I read for a self-evaporating two-hose unit says it will exhaust 98% of the condensation automatically, and only 2% is going to collect in the water tank. But then when the water reaches a certain level, it's going to start beeping and shut down, and then you have to drain it before it'll turn itself back on. And it also has the option to continuously drain with a drain hose. So that's a pretty nice system. On the models that I looked at, they had air conditioning modes, a dehumidifier-only mode, or a fan-only mode. So it's good to compare those features and see if you have those individual modes. I saw a variety of air filters, from just a basic filter that can be cleaned to activated carbon filters, which is going to help remove odors in your room. I saw silver ion filters that kill bacteria, and I also saw antimicrobial air filters. So there seems to be quite a few options.
You seem more excited about the first one.
A couple of the manuals I read said to make sure you always turn off the unit when cleaning it and changing your filters, and never run a portable air conditioner without the filter. You need to keep the coils from collecting too much dust and debris.
Okay.
Compare units on how the vents can be adjusted and how they're positioned, and if you have oscillating vents, you're going to get better cooling. Timers will turn the unit on or off.
People are familiar with how timers work.
Well, it's pretty cool that a timer can turn it on at a certain time, or
turned off.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. So you could have it turn on automatically if you're away at work to keep your pets cool, or have it turn on like an hour or two before you get home to cool off an area. Sleep timers will shut off the unit, or some sleep timers will slowly raise the unit's temperature over time, so it's more energy efficient. Digital controls on the unit are going to give you better temperature control, and the more fan speed you have, the better it is.
Exciting.
A remote control is very convenient. Let me explain what a remote control is.
No.
Some models have Wi-Fi control. You can use an app on your phone to turn it on before you get home, or check that your kids turned it off when they said they would. Auto restart automatically will turn it back on to the settings you had if you lost power during a storm, for example. Some have a space heater option, so it's convenient, having a space heater and an air conditioner and a dehumidifier and a fan.
Oh, and a timer.
All in the same unit.
Wow.
You should also be comparing the sound level in decibels, and you'll see the abbreviation, a lowercase d and a capital B. The World Health Organization recommends nighttime sound exposure shouldn't exceed 40 decibels. They say studies show that people exposed to higher sound levels over time can suffer from sleep disturbance and insomnia. Studies show that low to moderate levels of noise from a fan or a sound machine that creates white noise or rain can help improve your sleep because it's going to help block variable outside noises that can wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
But studies show the effects of noise levels over 40 decibels can actually affect your health.
Really?
A sleep study I read said people got the best sleep when noise levels were 30 decibels or less, and they were either using a fan, a machine that made white noise, a dehumidifier, or an air conditioner.
My dad always slept with the fan on.
Yeah.
My mom hated it.
Yeah, my parents always used a fan.
I used to have to sleep with the TV on because I shared a room with my sister, and so she snored and grinded her teeth. It's terrible. Worst sound in the world. Ugh.
Well, it's funny. They say that there's been a lot of research, like with having the TV on. If you have a very low volume and someone's just talking,
right.
They say that's very conducive to sleep.
I used to watch the History Channel back when they had real programming.
Yeah. The American Academy of Pediatrics says studies show background noise in an infant's room should not exceed 50 decibels. They found that some of these sound machines that were made for kids were producing levels as high as 85 decibels.
Wow.
And they say it can result in hearing loss.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You should compare the amps. In older homes, 15 amp circuits are pretty common in bedrooms and living rooms. In newer homes, you're going to have 20 amp circuits. One of the units I looked at was 12.7 amps. So if you have an older home with a 15 amp circuit, you need to know what else is on that circuit when you're plugging in your air conditioner.
Right.
And or where can you use the air conditioner in your house. Some common recommendations I saw in the manuals I read: do not use an extension cord or power strip. Only plug the power cord directly into an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Do not use in bathrooms, shower rooms, or any damp area. Always turn off the unit when you're removing your filter, and do not use the unit with the filter removed. Don't extend the exhaust hose more than 9 feet. Completely drain the unit and clean the filter before you store it. And in a couple of the models I saw, they recommended turning the fan on in the fan-only mode and run it for a full day to dry out the tank before you store it.
Okay.
Some top-rated portable air conditioners come from Winter. It's WHYNTER.
Fancy.
LG, just the letters L and G. Honeywell. Haier, HAIER. Black & Decker. Frederick. DeLonghi.
You're not going to spell that?
Frederick, FRIEDRICH. DeLonghi, DELONGHI. Global Air. Rollycool, ROLLICOOL, and Tosot, TOSOT.
Do you have anything else to add?
I would read the manual before you use it the first time. The models I looked at want the unit in the upright position for 1 to 2 hours before you use it the first time, so the oil and refrigerant can settle. And one manual said wait 8 hours before you use it.
Outrageous.
You should also compare the warranties, and if you're going to be taking it up and down stairs, make sure it has a nice handle.
Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, or your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 12, soon book 13 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost, and you can follow us on Instagram, Fixit Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week. Deep.